Ostrich, the racing giants of the savanna. Across the endless African savanna, where sand stretches to the horizon like nature's own racing track, the morning sun reveals Earth's largest living birds in full flight. These are ostriches, magnificent giants that have traded the sky for the ground, and in doing so, have become the fastest birds on land. At 70 kilometers per hour, they thunder across the plains, their powerful legs driving them forward in search of greener pastures. Each stride pounds the earth with such force that it leaves deep impressions in the sand, footprints of giants that have ruled these lands for over 600 years. But speed is not their only remarkable trait. As the convoy stops to refuel on fresh grass, one male's interests lie elsewhere. His striking black and white plumage sets him apart, and his hormones override hunger. Watch as he begins one of nature's most hypnotic displays. His dance is unwavering, mesmerizing, wings spread wide, neck swaying in serpentine patterns. The female watches, intrigued, and finally, she approves. But this is not a fairy tale romance. After mating, she walks away, seeking other partners. For ostriches are not bound by monogamy, they have evolved a far more unusual arrangement. This male will likely mate with every female that wanders through his territory. Yet remarkably, he commits to fatherhood with extraordinary dedication. Watch as he scrapes a shallow depression in the sand, a communal nest where multiple females will lay their eggs together. One by one, they come. Each female deposits her contribution, massive eggs that are, paradoxically, the smallest relative to body size of any bird. This evolutionary quirk allows something extraordinary, a single nest that can hold up to 60 eggs from 7 different mothers. But among these females, one remains. She is the dominant hen, the queen of this small kingdom. While others leave after laying, she stays, bonded to the male. Together, they will raise this mixed clutch as if all were their own. As the sun sets on this remarkable gathering of eggs, two parents stand guard over a clutch that represents one of nature's most unusual breeding experiments. Dawn breaks, and the shifts begin. The female, with her gray-brown plumage, takes the day's shift, perfectly camouflaged against the sand. Too many eggs lie before her to cover completely, so she positions herself strategically, protecting the majority. As evening approaches, the changing of the guard. The male's black plumage would make him visible by day, but at night, he becomes invisible, a shadow guarding precious cargo. This division of labor has been refined over millions of years. But watch the dominant female closely. She performs an extraordinary feat, using her beak to gently roll and examine each egg. She recognizes her own among the dozens. With deliberate precision, she arranges the clutch, moving her eggs to the safer center position while pushing others to the periphery. Those pushed furthest out become sacrificial offerings, a harsh but effective strategy. When predators come, and they will come, these outer eggs may satisfy them, protecting the core clutch. Natural selection does not judge morality, only effectiveness. A hyena approaches in the darkness. The male rises to his full 9-foot height, a towering guardian. His legs, capable of delivering a kick that can kill a lion, are nature's warning. The hyena takes an outer egg and retreats. The strategy works. 42 days of constant vigilance. Both parents lose weight, their feathers become worn and dusty. This is parental sacrifice at its most visible. Then, finally, the first crack appears. Listen, the first chick calls from within its shell, and remarkably, this triggers the others. Synchronous hatching, dozens of chicks emerging within hours of each other. They are precocial, meaning they're born ready for the world. Within an hour, they stand. Within 2, they're pecking for food. No feeding required from parents, another adaptation that makes communal nesting possible. Look at them, tiny Davids beside their Goliath parents, but already showing the racing genes that will one day carry them across these plains at highway speeds. The family's first journey begins. The male leads, the female follows, and between them, a river of chicks flows. Some struggle with the distance, and the parents adjust their pace. This is patient guidance, not abandonment. A jackal approaches, danger to the vulnerable chicks. Watch the coordination, the male charges with raised wings while the female herds the chicks to safety. Teamwork essential, family preserved. Now something remarkable happens. Multiple families converge at water, and the chicks begin to mingle. Some join different groups, forming what scientists call a creche, nature's kindergarten, where over 100 chicks might be supervised by just a few adults. Safety in numbers, confusion for predators, shared parenting at its most extreme. To understand the ostrich's unique system, we must look to their relatives across the southern hemisphere. In South America, the rhea, a distant cousin, has evolved a remarkably similar yet distinctly different approach. Male rheas also take on all parental duties, but with a twist. They mate with multiple females who lay in their nest, then leave entirely. The male raises up to 50 chicks alone, and remarkably, might even recruit a subordinate male as a nanny while he starts a second nest elsewhere. If ostriches are communes, rheas run orphanages. Travel to Australia, and we find the emu, monogamous for a season, but once the female lays, she abandons the male entirely. He sits for 8 weeks without eating, a feat of endurance that makes ostrich parenting seem easy by comparison. His chicks are all his own, no communal confusion here. In New Zealand's forests, the extinct moa once roamed. Evidence suggests males incubated here too, but the thin shells of their massive eggs indicate that only the lighter parent could sit without crushing them. Dense forests would have prevented communal gathering. Environment shapes behavior as much as genetics. Madagascar's elephant bird, larger even than ostriches, laid eggs with shells thick enough for both parents to incubate. Did they nest communally? The similar savanna habitat and predation pressures suggest they might have. We'll never know for certain, but the parallel would be remarkable. What we see across these giant birds is a pattern. Male incubation appears ancestral, perhaps evolving when males first began helping to increase egg survival. Once males incubate, they become a resource that females compete to exploit. In open habitats with ground predators, communal nesting offers advantages that outweigh its costs. The ostrich stands as the current champion, the only giant bird to survive the last 600 years of human expansion. Their breeding system, refined over millions of years, has proven its worth. A new breeding season begins, and with it, intense competition. Watch these males establishing territories, giants facing off, necks swinging as weapons, powerful kicks that could shatter bones. Only the strongest claim the best areas, and the best areas attract the most females. Victory in combat brings its rewards. Females visit territories, comparing males, assessing displays. They are not passive participants but active selectors, choosing superior genetics for their offspring. Female choice drives male competition, sexual selection in action. But not all competition is direct. Subordinate males lurk at territory edges, waiting for opportunities. When the dominant male is distracted, sneak mating occurs. Evolution favors multiple strategies, not just the strongest, but also the cleverest. Among females too, competition rages. Watch the dominant hen establishing her position, literally pecking others into submission. She claims the right to arrange the nest, to place her eggs in the safest position. Queenship has its privileges. Subordinate females aren't passive either. They sneak eggs into the center when the dominant female is absent, trying to improve their odds. Everyone seeks advantage in this complex social dynamic. The dominant female's ability to recognize her own eggs among dozens remains one of nature's mysteries. Watch her roll each egg gently, examining it, somehow knowing which are hers. Those she doesn't recognize are pushed to the periphery or out entirely. Harsh, but effective. These discarded eggs form a ring around the nest, a sacrificial barrier that may save the core clutch. Some mothers lose everything so others might succeed. Natural selection is neither kind nor cruel, it simply is. Consider the male managing multiple nests, running between different female groups. Exhausting commitment, but genetically, he's hit the jackpot. Dozens of chicks might carry his genes forward. Evolution rewards such dedication. In times of drought, selection intensifies. Only the best nests succeed, only the strongest chicks survive. Evolution accelerates under pressure, rapidly selecting for traits that matter. The communal system shows its resilience. When some fail, others carry on. Predators too are evolving, learning ostrich defenses, testing new strategies. An evolutionary arms race with no finish line, only constant adaptation. The price of survival is eternal vigilance. The mathematics of survival favor the communal approach. When an eagle attacks a creche of 100 chicks, each individual has only a 1% chance of being caught. Compare this to a single clutch of 10% risk. The dilution effect, simple, effective, proven. Multiple adults watching means 360-degree vigilance. Predators are detected earlier, warnings spread faster. Shared responsibility means no single parent bears the full burden of protection. The system multiplies effectiveness. On cold desert nights, chicks huddle together for warmth. Those in single clutches might freeze, those in communal groups survive. Body heat becomes a shared resource, cooperation defeating the elements. Consider the learning advantage. Chicks observe multiple adults, learning varied techniques, adopting best practices. Communal education accelerates development, enhances survival skills. Knowledge becomes communal property. Genetic diversity within communal clutches provides insurance against disease. When illness strikes, some chicks have immunity while others don't. A single clutch might be devastated, a communal clutch survives through diversity. During sandstorms, larger groups huddle more effectively. In drought, they share information about food sources. In plenty, they avoid overexploiting single areas. Every challenge met more effectively through numbers. The energy efficiency is remarkable. Adults can breed while still parenting, overlapping reproductive cycles. More offspring for less individual effort, evolution's economy of scale. But perhaps the greatest advantage is resilience. When disaster strikes, a predator breakthrough, a storm, a disease outbreak, the communal system bounces back quickly. Single clutches would fail, communal groups recover. The system is robust, refined over millions of years. Fossil evidence reveals that ostriches have used communal nesting for millions of years. Through ice ages, through the rise and fall of other giant birds, through human arrival, the system has endured. Time itself validates the strategy. Modern genetic studies confirm what observation suggested: communal nesting increases genetic diversity, improves population resilience, accelerates adaptation. Science validates nature's ancient wisdom. But the future brings new challenges. Climate change shifts rainfall patterns, alters breeding seasons. Human expansion fragments habitat, isolates populations. The communal system needs minimum numbers to function, below that threshold, it breaks down. Yet ostriches show remarkable adaptability. They adjust breeding timing, colonize new areas, integrate with agriculture. Some are domesticated while wild populations persist. Evolution continues, divergence begins. Conservation efforts now focus on protecting breeding grounds, maintaining corridors between populations. Understanding their unique system guides management strategies. We cannot protect what we don't understand. Around the world, children learn about these remarkable birds. The next generation of conservationists grows up understanding that nature's solutions aren't always obvious, that sharing can lead to greater success than selfishness. Research stations track populations, map genetics, predict futures. Technology serves ancient wisdom, science supports conservation. Knowledge accumulates, understanding deepens. International cooperation emerges, ostriches don't recognize borders, and neither does conservation. Shared species create shared responsibility, nature building bridges between nations. In a world where most birds pair for life, where monogamy is the norm, ostriches have written entirely different rules. They've proven that communal effort can overcome individual limitation, that sharing risk can multiply success. Through communal nesting, through shared parenting, through remarkable adaptation, they've claimed the throne as Earth's largest living birds. Not through size alone, but through one of nature's most unusual and successful breeding experiments. As the sun sets over the African savanna, a male ostrich settles onto his communal nest. 60 eggs from 7 different mothers lie beneath him, a genetic treasure trove that represents millions of years of evolutionary refinement. His queen stands nearby, vigilant, protective. Together, They guard not just eggs, but a legacy that has outlasted empires, survived extinctions, and adapted to countless changes. In a few weeks, these eggs will hatch, releasing a new generation of racing giants into the world. They will grow to sprint across these plains at highway speeds. Some will establish territories, others will challenge for dominance. Females will choose mates and lay eggs in communal nests, continuing a cycle that has proven its worth through deep time. This is their triumph, not just as the fastest runners, not just as the largest birds, but as masters of an extraordinary social system that transforms the burden of parenthood into a communal success story. The ostrich's throne was earned through cooperation, through sacrifice, through the willingness to raise another's young as your own. In the race for survival, they discovered that sometimes the fastest way forward is together. Long may they reign, the racing giants of the savannah, where every nest tells a story of shared risk and reward, where queens choose which eggs survive, where fathers guard mixed clutches through dangerous nights, and where the thunder of their footsteps across sand reminds us that nature's most successful experiments are often the most unexpected. The ostrich kingdom endures, built not on exclusion but inclusion, not on isolation but community. In a world that often rewards selfishness, they've proven that sometimes, sharing the crown leads to the greatest kingdom of all. This is their story, written in footprints across sand, in communal nests under acacia trees, in the thunder of their races across endless savannas. The ostriches, Earth's largest birds, fastest runners, and most unlikely parents, continuing their remarkable reign, one shared nest at a time.